Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your number one online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl, that guy. DMac, Darren McCarty, is here in the house, four-time Stanley Cup champion. We got JB Smoove, we got Sam Flannel here in the house as well. Happy to have all of you, and we are live in Novi. That's right, you know what it is. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's number one Chevy dealer. And DMac, I was talking with the Feldman folks here, our guy Ryan Palter, George, the sales manager, all the folks here. Chevy Silverados right now. Those are the play. Lease them $299 a month, $19.95 down. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So come on out here if you're in that market for that new Silverado pickup truck. This be the place to do it. DMac?
Is Ryan still licking his wounds, getting ready for this season? Because we're like, what are we getting?
He's broken.
Like a month away?
Yeah, he's broken, no
Feldman,
doubt.
I'm putting the title on the line again this year for the picks between you, me, himself, Terry Foster, obviously. So I wonder if he's gotten over it yet. But, hey, come on in, support him, buy a new car, great deals.
Yeah.
That's one way that you can show support going into football season.
No question about that. But, DMac, it's good to have you back in the chair. How's the mend? Have you been put back together?
Slowly but surely, but I'm doing...
Have all the King's horses and all the King's men put DMac back together again?
Man, Humpty Dumpty needs a little bit longer. That's the one thing I think you notice and would say as you get a little bit older, it takes a little bit longer. But I'm doing what needs to be done, Neil. I was... anybody who knows me, I do the pain-free life. I've talked about it, for years now. So I'm back in there every day and slowly but surely getting better. I should be good to go next Monday for the New Way golf outing when you and I take on Justin Rose and Danny DeKaiser. So that should be quite eventful. I'm just preparing. I'm going to peak then. So I'll be all right. I'll be good. And actually, it was nice to talk before because people know that usually our conversation starts out with how's the golf game and stuff like this. And it was nice to hear that you got out some swings this weekend and like where your game's at.
I'm back, baby. We are peaking at the right time. Justin Rose, Danny DeKaiser, you're next.
Let's just say I am probably 80% better than I was last week at this time.
Okay, so I like the trend. I like where the trend is
Thanks
at.
for all your well wishes to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. There is some sad news, however, to report from Lions Camp. Yes, we're going to get into the Teddy Bridgewater thing. I think you'll be surprised with my reaction to it because people are talking in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread now. Curious to see what I have to say. By the way, Rack texts in on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. You can jump in there and get your thoughts out there. Rack says, got my Silverado from Feldman. Got a great deal. Easy process. Sam Flannel can confirm as well. Very easy, right, Flannel?
I was in and out in 3.5 hours, which is
impressive.
very, very good, yes.
Which is impressive when you buy a car. Flannel, you're back, by the way, also.
Yes, I'm back. We are back. Yeah. We are getting done. I'm back from
Please don't
vacation.
do that again.
I won't.
How was vacay?
It was good. It was a good reset, mental and physical. Obviously took it with the wife to Nashville, first time ever going. It's a hell of a city. I would definitely go back. I would recommend it. But it's good to be back here. Missing a bunch of shows, you kind of feel out of the loop. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Just to let you know, Flannel, I got the word you're not invited back to Nashville, so your card has been revoked. Your wife, they said you had a wonderful time.
Yes.
Wonderful young lady. But you have to put in next time the paperwork. They want to see the proper paperwork.
Oh, the proper paperwork.
Back. One of the other things I saw in the chat thread, somebody, I was at the Tiger game on Sunday. First Tiger game of the year.
Really?
Fortunately, not a win, but an entertaining ball game.
It was
an entertaining game down 6-0 after 2 innings. So I mean, it was the epitome. I got to see a Tiger game. Got to spend the day. Actually, Rake went down with me. Kool-Aid went down. Happy belated birthday, Kool-Aid, and
Kool-Aid, my guy.
Matt Tremont, death match legend, took him to the ball game. We absolutely enjoyed the day. It was great. The rain stayed away, but it was such the epitome of the Tigers season was that.
Wait
game.
a minute. I was told Elmago was back. Is Elmago not back?
He wasn't in the game, but
really,
Ibanez had a few bobbled one in the first and had a few incidents, but it was entertaining. So anybody who's
weird.
going down for, I know they're playing the Twins or whatever, still get yourself down there. They're doing a great job.
Well, they just have to take the next 3 in a row from the Twins to jump back in this race, right?
Is that what it is?
No, that's not what it is, DMac.
No, it's done, but it's entertaining. It's not like it used to be.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I am going to get down there.
I'm just trying to tell everybody it's still worthwhile to go down to the ballpark.
I am going to get down there. I do want to see Miggy play one more time, so I am going to do that. It's interesting. We brought Sam Flannel in to say he's back from vacation. Let me give you the first 5 comments that happened after we welcomed Sam back. The first 5. I can't make this up. It's out there in front of everybody. Dos Burritos says, in all caps, fire Flannel, there goes the call-in show. DNCENT says, yay, Sam, whatever. El Gato says, go back on vacation.
Hey, I mean, I would go back on vacation. If they want to keep paying me not to show up, I'll be okay with that.
So there's that. Rack says Riley Green did do his best El Mago impression on Sunday, though. 0 for 5 with 4 awful Ks.
4 awful Ks in a row.
There's one guy that gets a pass on this Tigers team.
Right.
It's him. I'm not worried about him. I do need to see a little bit more power, and that's fair.
Yes.
That's fair. If you're going to be an elite, a franchise savior player, I do need to see some more power from you. That's a fair criticism.
Yes.
Bobby Witt just hit his 20th home run with 30 stolen bases.
Yeah, but his on-base percentage is not near what Riley Green's is. But, yeah, Riley Green does need to. I want to see him get to 20 at some point in his career, and now he's at 9. In a shortened season, but still not quite enough.
They've all been shortened so far. That's the other critique, and that's fair.
Yes.
Damn it.
Absolutely.
No, that is fair. So, no, again, as we said, we are here live at Feldman. Lions-Giants have the combined practice going on. Preseason kicks off on Friday. We're in a couple show announcements as well. DMac all season long will be joined again by the Detroit Lions hometown hero on home game weeks. That will kick off on Thursday, as a matter of fact, so we'll have that segment. I know that's become popular with the people. They like to tap into that. We love doing it, too, so props to Ronnie Cyrus. We're going to get that going again.
No, I think it's a big part.
Yeah.
Not only because it puts the spotlight on, a military member that's given us a service for our freedom, but it also gives. I always like to do this, and we have Operation Valhalla. Obviously, we got the golf tournament coming up on the 18th and stuff like this. I look at it as a way where everybody supports veterans, wants to be a part of veterans, but a lot of times doesn't know how. So all you got to do is tune in during the season, and we will focus in on a veteran or somebody in this area. And the best part, it's a Michigan person for the most part. If somebody has Michigan ties and ties to the Detroit Lions, and lets us know that, we're all in this together. So it's something that is near and dear, I know, to your heart, to my heart, and obviously with what Ronnie does. So it's a big part of what it is to be in the Detroit Lions, the way that they take care of these guys too. So I tell everybody, when I do game day lives and when I'm in the building at LCA, when I get to do the military jersey giveaway, usually like a 14-minute mark of the second period, and hand that veteran the jersey, that's the highlight of my day.
No, yeah,
so,
you demanded to do that, right?
I
you walked in the door and said, "I'm doing
absolutely.
this," which is pretty cool. Sam Flannel, obviously a big topic of discussion, the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mr. Detroit City, hey Sam, why don't you take more vacations? It felt great to get a break from you. Again, these are just the thoughts of the chat, in no way reflect the views of Darren McCarty or Neal Ruhl, probably.
I mean, is it funny, though, that I kind of get a sick pleasure out of gracing them with my presence, even if they don't want it at this point? It's an interesting relationship that I have with all the chats.
Robert Colosia has details from your vacation. DMac says Flannel told Nashville that Hank Williams Sr. sucks and is overrated and shouldn't be in the Grand Ole Opry Hall of Fame.
I knew there was a reason that I got the call and they revoked his Nashville privileges. Sam,
is that true?
Taking it to a whole new level.
Is that true?
I mean, if you want to talk about who I think is overrated, I don't know if we want to have this discussion. Johnny Cash, overrated.
All right, turn it off.
Holy God.
Turn it off.
And do you see why?
Turn it off.
Do you
turn
see
the
why
mic
it's
off.
not allowed? That's what I'm saying.
That's the biggest trash take you've ever had. Ever.
Of all the ones?
Far and away.
Of them.
That is the Connor McDavid trash take, to whereas all the other ones, our Matthew Tkachuk or this is Connor McDavid separation trash right there.
It's just an opinion. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. He's just I don't think he's up there with the greats.
No.
All right, fair enough. Music is subjective, though.
Obviously, your ears don't work. Wow. Wouldn't you hate to have that look come at you? Like, that must be, is that the dishes look?
Yes.
Is that the dishes look when you walk by
yes,
and the
it
dishes
is.
are there? Do the kids get it? Because I don't know if this kid gets it.
All right, what about this? God says Sam's not wrong. No, he is this time, and God is wrong, too.
Aha. I like when people are on my side. Makes me happy.
People saying you should be under arrest. Kevin Donaldson says first Bob Seger, now Johnny Cash. You're about to be in a burning ring of fire. So there's that. There's that also. That's a trash take. I'm staggered right now.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
but
staggered.
Detroit Dabber 313 says, relax, guys. Sam, having that opinion doesn't really hold any weight, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, at the end of the day, no. I mean, you're so funny, Sam.
Dave Schultz says it's because Cash writes emotionally gripping songs and Flannel is incapable of any emotional connection to anything. So there's that.
Very well said. I think we've proven that.
Mr. Wizard says Flannel's been everywhere, man. I like our chat, man. They are. It is good to have you back a little bit.
Appreciate it. Good to be back.
So
good to be back.
So that is good to see you. For now, anyway.
For now,
anyway.
Give it 5 minutes.
That will change, I'm sure. No, but we do have a big time show. Lots of Lions stuff to get to. Certainly the Teddy Bridgewater thing right out of the rip. I have not heard. Look, let's just say this now. I have not heard what the financial details are yet. Which is, you guys know me. The financial details will dictate my impression of the signing. So we'll get into it, though. We will coming up in just a couple of minutes. And so it is that DMac, some defensive line talk, offensive backfield, running back spot talk. DMac, it's real, man. Like when you wake up in the morning, there's that little bit of chill. It's real, DMac. We're here.
It's even more real. Obviously, we've talked about it since training camp has started and the fans have got down there. But now it's real because they're doing team practices, with the Giants, and there's a game at Ford Field on Friday. So, I mean, we're right into it. And I know that exhibition really doesn't hold as much weight, even though that now there's only 3 games and stuff. But the excitement here, I think that it will, and that it does, and I think that it starts. And we're right in the middle of it. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, no, we are. Tell them about Dispo first, though.
Oh, absolutely. Join us at the Dispo Family Live at the Hazel Park location on August 11th for Ermanni and Edwards and the Woodward heavyweights from 2 to 7 p.m. Come prepared as Dispo Dispensary takes your cannabis experience to new heights, located at 634 West 9 Mile Road, Hazel Park, Michigan. See you there for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and the Heavies. Live August 11th, Dispo Dispensary, local cannabis plug.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. At Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper.
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack and enter to win the $100 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Back at it, off and running here. Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They got those Chevy Silverados on deck right now. Rack in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. He's a satisfied Silverado customer here at Feldman Chevrolet. You can be too. They got the lease running right now, $19.95 down, $299 a month. Roll up through here and get yourself in a brand new Chevy Silverado or any of the other Chevys that they have here on the lot. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. We have Sam Flannel back. Everybody's back, man. It's like a reunion. We have JB Smoove as well. But let's get to the big news of the day that broke yesterday. Teddy Bridgewater signing with the Detroit Lions. And DMac, it's one of those things for me. We've had these discussions and I want this out there now because I got the tweets right away. I wonder how Neal's going to respond to this. Neal's going to cook this. He's going to be upset. Chances are I won't be. And here's why.
No, there's no. I think I know why.
I know you know why.
I think you've trained me why.
Yeah.
It's because everything to make this move, they've set themselves up. They've set themselves up for success in making this move. This fits into everything that they've done. And the first thing that I looked, and even though we haven't heard the details, right? Because the number is 1 year, right? Which is perfect. It's just, is it $4 million? Is it $5 million? Or is it $3 million?
Right.
But regardless of what it is, Brad Holmes has set himself up by keeping the money.
By keeping the money right as we went along.
This goes right into everything you talk about. Draft capital, salary cap, where can you maneuver, right? This is like the chess play by Brad Holmes, sort of at the end piece. And I go back, Neal, to what did Brad Holmes say at the end of the season? The backup quarterback job we will address, right? Because we knew in the position that we were in last year. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but we don't want to be in the same position. So what have they done? They've kicked all the tires. They saw that. You sort of see this coming with the release of Nate Sudfeld. So it's just the fact of whether you're more comfortable because it's $3 million or less comfortable because it's $5 million. But regardless, the deal's the deal, and it looks good. My first inkling, what I wanted to ask you, doesn't this scream development for Hendon Hooker?
To me, it screams like a redshirt year, which they kind of talked about.
No, but a development year. Yes, a redshirt development, sitting on the sidelines in the room with Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
More than Jared Goff. So Jared Goff doesn't have to focus on helping the kid as much. He can more focus into the game plan and stuff. And Teddy Bridgewater, as the experienced guy, can answer all the questions and sort of be there as another coach. To me, it's like adding sort of a player coach as your backup quarterback that has done it in this league.
Yeah, and there are some elements to it as well, DMac. Look, he knows the score, right? When he chose to sign here, he knows the score. He knows Jared Goff's the guy. He knows Jared Goff's coming off a great season. He knows this is going to be Jared Goff's team. That's the way that it is. So right there, that tells me he's not stupid. Like, he's walking into the situation with his eyes wide open, knowing what the situation is. More importantly, who the situation is. So from that standpoint, that's great. It all comes back to this, DMac, and you said it, and I'm going to echo the sentiment. For the people looking for me to say, "Oh, that's you're upset," or I thought you said you didn't care about the backup quarterback position. Here's why, when new information presents itself, you have the right to change your opinion. And the Teddy Bridgewater thing, I guess I'm on board with what everybody else is saying. Like, he's a guy that's had pretty good numbers through his career. He's been hurt a lot, etc. And that's fine. But the deal for me is they had $18 million in cap space. And one of the more viral clips that we had when I talked about Brad Holmes and why things are different with the Lions was because of financial flexibility. They were prepared for any scenario. If one of the better backup quarterbacks is on the market and he's there, they're in a position to do that. If somebody's a surprise cut at training camp, they can do that. And that's why, like, when I'm looking at it, yeah, that 5-ish million mark. What made me flip out about it before was when you have people at this network, people who are on the show after us, that were adamant that said, well, Teddy Bridgewater, if he's $8 million, go get him, $8.5 million. No, that's irresponsible. At that time in space, before you had addressed all your needs in the secondary defensively, which Brad Holmes did through free agency, they went and did everything that they wanted to do from a necessity standpoint. I think the Teddy Bridgewater thing was a luxury, but it was a luxury they could afford, DMac.
Isn't this a cherry on the top to what they've built? And right now, having guys healthy or guys that are, you still got Mosley coming back, but as far as this team being put together, this was like sort of the final piece into going into training camp or going into exhibition season. Now, we got to wait and see, and hopefully nobody gets hurt and stuff like this, but this really makes this team, it sort of, to me, it just puts the cherry on the top to where was the question mark on this team going in. We all there's questions, Neal, but not questions of who's going to get the opportunity to begin with. Right now, we know that who's going to get the ball, who's going to be looked to, to stop the run. To now they just got to go out and perform. The thing we didn't know is who is our backup, and I think that's sitting here today, as Lions fans, it's the comfortability because Teddy Bridgewater knows what he's coming in here for. It's not coming in here to play.
That's DMac, to me, that's the most of it right there.
And doesn't it? So when I would say to people, like, the fact that he just didn't come in because he was in here last week and did whatever he did, and then he took his time as a veteran guy and decided what is it he wants to do.
And the Lions took their time
and
too.
The Lions, no, but that's what I'm saying. In the conversation, and they worked it out to what role does he need to fill. And I think coming in here, that's what he's going to do. It's going to be more of the mentor and being the, being able to stand there with Hendon Hooker and being able to explain different things. That's the fast track. Now he's going to be ready to play. We've seen it in the past that he can come in and win a game. Now, we don't want him to play a duration of game. This is Goff's team, and he knows it's Goff's team. He's just coming in and going, okay, I see what you're doing. This, to me, screams the culture that we keep talking about coming out of Allen Park because they keep showing by guys keep wanting to be there. Teddy Bridgewater didn't want to be a part of something or didn't see that there was something special being built or even for a year that he could help. Then he wouldn't be here. He'd be off trying to be a starter somewhere, wouldn't he?
Or because that was an avenue that was open to him. Long-term thinking, if I'm Teddy Bridgewater, just to kind of try to get inside his head for a moment. Here's how I would handle it if I were Teddy Bridgewater. I would wait until an emergency situation creates desperation, i.e., I'm waiting for a quarterback to go down.
Which is an option. Which would have been an option, which we know that then he would have got paid, or
which will probably happen
in his career, right? He'd rather be a part and something special and building something special, and it'll be great. The best part is he's a part of this team, so hopefully some of these questions Broder or Gabby can ask, about why was his decision to come here. And, so that'll be interesting to hear. It's a veteran guy, a guy that's a Pro Bowler, a guy that's been around, a guy that has proven that, he can command an offense in this league. I mean, are you not sitting here like a little bit more comfortable with what you got in your quarterback room than you were yesterday?
No question. Yeah, no question about
Absolutely.
it.
The money doesn't mean anything. You're not paying him $8 million. You're going to pay him around probably $5 million at the most, maybe $6 million. But again, you've created that room and that salary cap space and that money there to go out and do this.
Right. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. The people are speaking. Jay Cruz in 71. How much did he cost, though? We don't know yet. That hasn't been reported. Yeah, we're speculating right now. I have looked at Spot Track. They haven't updated the terms of the contract. One thing that is interesting, though, they have under their little chart that they use, they do have 2023 and 2024. So what I'm guessing is probably when they signed him, I would imagine that it'll be, quote unquote, a 2-year deal, but the second year of the deal will be the dummy year that you keep, voidable year that you keep hearing about. All that is to stretch out the signing bonus. Yeah. You just take your money, you guarantee it, but you can stretch it out over 2 years, and then as the cap continues to go up, that signing bonus is less and less and less percentage-wise.
Whatever it is, it's team-friendly, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be. I mean, it's both. Like, it's something that works out for both sides.
Yeah, that would be my guess, is they might have a second dummy year on there just so they can negate some of the signing bonus costs. My guess is, and this is like totally away from what we're talking about right now, DMac, my guess is the way that we're seeing teams do this, the voidable year, the quote-unquote dummy year on the end of deals, this salary cap's going to jump a lot. There's got to be something brewing in the league that's going to be huge, a huge influx of cash, be it from a streaming partner or whoever. Well, I'm getting granular here and kind of geeky and sports businessy, but that's you know how I like to do. I'm getting that kind of feeling.
That's you're trying to that's how the temperature feels. So,
yes,
and you know what? It just larked back to Steve Yzerman and talking about the hockey and talking about free agency and talking about how they in the NHL have to sort of do their own numbers and speculate what the salary cap is going to be going up to in the next couple of years in the NHL too. So why wouldn't it do that in football also? So there's something definitely to it.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, DNCENT. I still would rather have D-Hop or Jalen Ramsey pre-injury than Teddy. Best case scenario, he'll only see snaps in Week 18 if we have the division wrapped up. And yes, that is the point of a backup quarterback. You hope they never play.
Right.
I hope we never see Teddy Bridgewater play. Nope. That's my preference. That is
the case.
The
development in his redshirt year of Hendon Hooker. Like that. Does anybody else? Does it just scream that this bringing him in just screams to help develop Hooker?
Yes.
In a redshirt year, like to me that is more of, yes, it is to have somebody capable if Goff goes down, but they're not looking at that. They're not looking at Goff going down. I think they're more looking at what he can do in the room in a whole year and helping Hendon Hooker.
And DNC, as far as the rest of that goes, the DeAndre Hopkins thing, like, I'm not interested, man, and I wasn't interested because nobody else was interested. And I'm not saying you need to live your life, dictating what other people think or what other people value. I am saying it was very telling that whole DeAndre Hopkins scenario, how everybody lost their mind. I know he's popular in your fantasy football draft, but over here in the real world, there wasn't a lot of interest, DMac, for a reason, I'm guessing.
You know what? The pros and the cons, it obviously weighed out, and you would think that right off the rip that you'd think that there's like 10 teams that would want him, but really this has to go deeper than that, either to tread on the tire or attitude in the locker room.
Yeah,
combination of both.
And I think that was going to be the answer to that question. And as far as the Jalen Ramsey thing, again, guys, I'm not interested in moving a third-round pick and then giving a guy $36 million guaranteed. When you're third, like I'm not interested in that.
You're not in a position here, and you don't need to, right? At that number, that's frivolous. And I believe Teddy Bridgewater will be at his number will be much more valuable to what he helps out this room than what DeAndre Hopkins would.
Yes. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Hoof Hearted says, I hope we see Bridgewater play Week 18 because the Lions already have sewn up first overall in the NFC. And, yeah.
Yes.
We all want
that. It would be nice to have that conversation, whether they should sit Goff or not.
No, absolutely. But some could say, DMac, that Teddy Bridgewater is a quarterback position guardian.
Oh, absolutely. If there would be like a guardian alarm version of backup quarterbacks, it would be Theodore Bridgewater. But let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians, take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs, but I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call Guardian today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Yes, real flesh and blood. People. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Even about Sam Flannel. Yes, flannel protection. How many straight days of flannel protection, Sam?
329.
329
it's getting to the end.
days of flannel protection on Big D Energy. If you want some protection like that, Guardian can offer you, whether it's business, whether it's personal, they don't care. But I need you to call the number today. Here it is, 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of Major League Baseball, Los Angeles Angels. You continue to waste Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. Ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Dude was crying the other day because they lost.
Yeah.
Stay out of the lineup forever, El Mago, because you, in fact, are not back.
Anyways, Guardian Alarm, they'll help you. Whatever you need, give them a call today. Let them know. Your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy, we sent you.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Again, we are live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. They are Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. That's not an opinion. That is fact, everybody. It is scientifically proven. They got the Silverados. Yes, it is actual. They got the Silverados in the house. Great lease deals going on right now. You can get one into one, $299 a month. $19.95 down. Come on down to Feldman Chevrolet here in Novi. Rack in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread did that exact same thing. Got his Silverado, was thrilled with it, and you can do the same as well. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty here back in the fold. We got Sam Flannel, JB Smoove here in the house. Happy to have everybody with us today. And we're talking Teddy Bridgewater. And it was big news out of Lions camp. The backup quarterback is here, signed, sealed, and delivered. Do not know the terms as of yet. Be curious to see when those come out. Here on Mark M says, every penny spent on Teddy Bridgewater is a penny not available for St. Brown, Jonah, Goff, etc. Well, here on Mark M, that's not true because they're all signed already through this year, next year. So it has no impact.
And didn't we cover this like last week or whatever as far as Brad Holmes talking about, what's next and moving towards signing your own guys? So
right.
That
was telling, by the way.
This money never had any. This was always for
this.
The vacation, right? The special trip, right? Sam Flano was putting away to go to Nashville. He's never invited back again because he slammed Johnny Cash. Unbelievable. But
I got a text from my mother, by the way, of all people, Sam Flannel.
So
tell Sam Flannel to take that back immediately, and it was in all caps.
Oh man,
she's heated, bro.
I mean, it's a personal preference. I'm just not a Johnny Cash guy.
But it's also factually incorrect.
I don't know about that.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, back to the task.
Hey, you know what?
Hand.
He doesn't he doesn't want a mother's love. That's all I'm saying.
I guess not.
Nope. I'm sorry for Sam. Mrs. Rule.
Jack Harrington says the stream is working better. Well, yeah, we're getting closer to Ermanni and Edwards.
You know it'll be good by 2. Absolutely.
Of course, you know things are going to be handled by 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so
there's no doubt. People were talking too, like it's not a coincidence. Flannel's back. We have these issues. I'm just saying.
Too.
It's a coincidence.
How was it without Flannel? Do you have any issues? I heard you even had phones.
We had phone callers.
Whoa,
yep.
Geez.
We had callers call in.
There's stuff.
Yeah.
There was way too much stuff. Slow down. Thank God Flannel's back to mess it up.
This is where JB Smoove, I think, will come into play here on this one. Paul Thomas wants to know, can we do a Woodward Sports poll? Has Sam Flannel watched sports in his life? Yes or no?
He's always.
You watch Michigan football. We're gonna talk about that in the second hour, Flannel.
Let's do it. I can't wait.
You're going to be center stage, I guess, because I have some critical Michigan questions.
I can't wait.
Number 2 in the preseason coaches poll.
Sounds about right.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll discuss.
Absolutely.
I have some issues with the preseason coaches poll.
Okay.
In your conference.
All right. And I will be happy to discuss them with you, Neal Ruhl.
Okay.
Happy.
Good, because I'm worked up about it.
Okay.
Very worked up about it. We'll get to it in the second hour. But yeah, just kind of wrapping up the Teddy Bridgewater thing. And the bottom line with it all is this. Very, decent career numbers, career quarterback rating of about 90.5. Has had some good seasons, has had some hellacious injuries. But the moral of the story is here's why I do like what it signifies. And again, I reserve the right to take a look at the money first. I still believe the Lions are in a position where if there is a surprise cut or a trade or an opportunity that presents itself, they're still in a great spot to be able to take advantage. Like Flannel's Chiefs, they're up against it. Teddy Bridgewater is not an option for them. Who's their backup quarterback these days?
I don't know. I couldn't
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And look, that's fine because you guys know how I roll. Like the backup quarterback thing is more a luxury than a necessity to me. The Chiefs are in that boat right now.
Sure.
They had no shot at getting Teddy Bridgewater because they have like $11 left of cap space. So for the Lions, this just goes to show what it signifies, DMac, to me. There is a competent general manager that's running the show, that can draft good players, that has a handle on the salary cap, that knows what he needs to be able to make a move, luxury moves, whatever move needs to be done. That is what's different. I love what it signifies, DMac. It just signifies that there's somebody competent in charge for a change.
It's a real football organization move, right?
Yes.
The ones that teams that are expected to win championships or win divisions or compete like we expect this Lions team to do, this is how they operate. It's new for us because it's something that we haven't experienced, but the fact that they keep doing it over and over again. And every move that they make, they seem to solidify it with another move, right? Into strengthening the team, whether it's in units, right? Addressing this is the thing, Neal. Everything that was blatantly needed to address, right, was addressed, right? To the nth degree, I feel, right? They went super in this backfield, right? They got the guys. And it might not have been my guy or your guy or whatever, and Campbell and Gibbs in the first round, but they're their guys, right? They're the fact of what they're building. This is the competency. The Teddy Bridgewater cherry on top also has to do with culture. Where has he played? Miami, played in Miami where Dan Campbell's been. He's played in New Orleans where Dan Campbell's been, and we know out of that. So there's something to it as far as mentality or surrounding yourselves with guys who look at football the same way. And I think that, to me, Teddy Bridgewater comes in not just as a backup quarterback, but as an extra coach.
Right.
With his experience, you nailed it. And a guy that, if, God forbid, something happened, I don't think you're taken away for a game or an end of a game to come in and fill in. I think he's competent enough to handle whatever system it is. Now, you don't want him for the long run, but if you had to fill in for the end of a game or a play or something like this, you have the confidence because he's got the track record.
And he's not under contract for the long run. Like this is what it is, and the money is there.
Isn't that the beauty with a lot of guys? And we'll talk about that as we're moving throughout the season, because hopefully it plays out the way we all want, but it makes everybody else more valuable. Then we'll look into, who's playing themselves into the next contract, or who are these guys that are on single contracts, single-year contracts that you're looking to be part of the future here. So, a lot of guys have a lot of things to prove, in a lot of ways to go out and play. And, I mean, we're right in the middle of it, but it starts here Friday, an exhibition.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. J. Will fan says, well, Maz can stop crying now that we need a backup quarterback. Maz wanted to give this guy like $9 million. Remember that. Remember that. Don't forget. When you guys watch the show, don't forget.
It's like Maz and like flannel. It's like the same thing as Troy Dabber said earlier. It's them hanging their hats on it. Don't put too much stock in it.
Eric Allen, how many quarters do you see J-Mo playing this preseason? Do they give him run in all three through a good portion of the games to give him live reps, especially now that we have Teddy here? Well, Bridgewater, my understanding is Bridgewater will not play this Friday, that they will get him into the game the following week against Jacksonville.
Sure makes sense.
Which certainly makes sense. These people that think that they're just going to have J-Mo play 40 plays in all these preseason games, that ain't how that's going to go down, man. You don't drive a Ferrari through a construction zone. You don't. That's just the way that it goes. Get the Feldman Chevrolet people over here. Are they taking the Vet Z06s out on 696 where they're working on it? No, you don't do that. You drive it around a little bit, but you're not taking it through the construction zone.
No, I mean, I'm sure we'll see it opened up if you expect a few plays, few deep balls and stuff to see, but no, I don't think any. Why do people expect him to be out there for 40 plays and stuff?
I'm getting the feeling that's what people are going to start to expect.
Well, here's the thing. Does it not make sense because he's suspended for the first 6 games? He can play exhibition, but he's going to get his most usage this first game because they're going to have to get ready for the season in the second and third. So maybe you see him for 25 plays.
There you go.
Maybe this, if you want to see him, this is a game to go down and see him, because I would expect that this is where they're going to not showcase him, but to give him his most reps because he's not part of the team for the first 6 games.
Bob M. says, Brad Holmes is a genius. Signed Teddy Bridgewater. When a QB from a different team goes down, Brad can offer Teddy to them in a trade, constantly working. And look, I think that maybe overthinking it a little bit. I don't think that the Lions, when they did this move, I talked about how it signified there's someone competent in charge. You know what else it signifies? They're in, and they're ready to roll. And maybe the timetable came along quicker than maybe even they thought.
No, clock's
but
off,
it's on
man.
now.
Clock's off, and they know it. And here's also, to the one last thing, is solidified how a veteran guy who had options to do it a bunch of different ways, and you nailed it. If Teddy Bridgewater's going for the money, what does he do? He sits out and waits till somebody goes down and makes somebody desperate, and then they got to pay him $10, $12 million, right, to come in and solidify the ship. What it's proven to me is just like what we're seeing is the bets out of Vegas, sort of the way that the country's looking, and in the Detroit Lions, that they're legit. And it's just proven. You got another veteran that's come here to be a part of it. And not be a part of it long term, just be a part of it for this short term, which doesn't mean that he's looking to say he's going to be part of a Super Bowl winner or anything like that, but he's part of this process and he wants to be a part. And I think that speaks as a veteran guy a ton to me.
Right. WoodwardSports.com chat. There are a lot of people, before we cut to the break, a lot of people talking about the Lions depth chart that's put online. Pistons Fan 11 kind of lays this out very well. The depth chart is unofficial and made by the PR team. And I'll take that a step further, Pistons Fan 11. It is made by the PR team with input from the coaches. ... You know what I mean
so
when I'm
saying that.
Stock
in it?
What's out there now? No.
Yeah,
No. That is made with input from the coaches, I think. And you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, smoke and mirrors. I mean, let's
Right.
go NHL playoff injury list. Upper body is an ankle. You got an upper body
Right.
injury neck. So right now, going into the season, so you're saying it's more smoke and mirrors than anything else?
Yes. It means nothing right now. You're better off saving the energy in your finger by not clicking on it on the internet. You know what the depth chart is, guys. You know. We've seen it. We've seen enough to know what the story is. Rich Diana says Milt Plum had trouble beating Earl Morrell out for the starting spot as well. The depth chart's been a thing forever. Strawberry Fest won't be a thing forever, however, because Strawberry Fest is at Big Boy, but time's running out, everybody. Get in there for breakfast. The strawberry hotcakes, those are a classic. The mouth-watering red velvet waffle, not a breakfast person? Fine. Strawberry bacon chicken wrap for lunch. Or the refreshing summer splash salad. That's out there for you. And don't forget dessert. That's what started all this. The OG strawberry pie. If you're more designer with your dessert needs, deep fried vanilla Oreos like DMac, or the strawberry hot fudge cake, all of that is out there. Guys, time's running out for Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. Get to your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, JB Smoove. We have Sam Flannel in the house as well, live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They got the Silverados popping right now. Lease one, $299 a month, $19.95 Get down here to Feldman Chevrolet to get all the deets, as the kids would say, and get your brand new Chevy Silverado. Talking Detroit Lions, Giants are in town. They've started the co-workouts, the co-practices. Have we had any fight video that it's gone on yet? I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen any.
You'll get one before the end of the day.
That's the way it goes. Testosterone.
Take me through the anatomy of a preseason fight.
Oh, preseason. I mean, that's usually when there's a ton of them, especially younger and stuff like this. The anatomy is just look on the lineup.
Is it because the rookies get on your nerves because they're trying so hard?
Oh, you're talking about I thought you meant when you're playing another team.
Or if you're
you're talking about your own
training camp with yourself.
Emotions, usually against a guy you're going up against or a guy that you're battling. In junior, when lower, like in junior and coming up or whatever, there's fights all the time because guys are trying to prove it, make the team.
Yeah.
we get to the professional level, it's not as much. But there's, you see it all.
They're more scrapes.
See it all the time and stuff like that. So, no, you're going to see it more when you're playing against guys in the other team colors. So today at practice, when they're both, the Giants and the Lions, that's when you're going to see it more. And that's where it's more save it for against the other guys.
Right.
So in Red Wing training camp or whatever, the adage wasn't, and it wasn't like guys were going to fight, but if it was something like that, save it for exhibition. A lot of fights in exhibition.
Did you because you guys didn't do like the mixed training camp together where you brought somebody in and all that kind of stuff?
Exhibition games.
Those are just exhibition
that
games,
just
right?
Turns into like a brawl fest or whatever. Usually the first few exhibition games. I mean, we always played Toronto home and home in exhibition. You always knew, there's Domi, there's Baumgartner, we're gonna have a line brawl or whatever like that. So just part of the territory.
Right. So it's just one of those things where you're gonna see that video and it'll go all throughout Twitter and people will say, "Hey, Lions Giants, there was a fight," and then it'll get broken up, and then there might be another one a little bit later on.
Guys got their helmets on, and I mean that's the worst. I'm gonna be slapping a guy in the helmet.
Yeah,
hitting guys with helmets.
All right, WoodwardSports.com chat thread, and Elway says you can't get suspended for a practice fight, can you? That's up to the organization.
Not in if it's in your Lions training camp or whatever, that'd be an in-house decision. The league can't suspend you, but I think in training camp, if you're against another team and it's bad enough, then the league could step in.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Robert Colosia. There's a big boy in Los Angeles. They just added another one in the San Fernando Valley. So big boy's back popping off. I like to think it's because they came on board with Woodward Sports. I think we single-handedly revived the big boy franchise, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
It's probably my commercial reads, right, Flannel?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the fact that I just crush deep-fried Oreos all over this country.
All right, Lions. Defensive line, John Kaminsky came out, had some interesting things to say. J.B. Smooth's got the cut. Listen to this from John Kaminsky talking about the Lions' second defensive unit and how he thinks they're as good as the first.
Yeah, I definitely think that our second team is just as strong as the first team. So, there can be some rotational pieces. We can run a couple different personnels, get everybody moving. Everybody can have a role on this team. We're going to have fresh legs on the field more. So I think there's just a lot more options, yep.
And that was John Kaminsky talking about the Lions' second defensive line unit. And DMac, I've heard two camps on this with the Lions' defensive line this year. There has been the camp of what's really different about it other than you got some of the guys back. And maybe the people that say they didn't do enough to address that defensive line outside of a draft pick.
Time.
Okay, step in.
Time out. Kaminsky's got two hands this year. He played all last year with the club. Pascal was out. He's healthy. Aleem McNeil's dropped 30 pounds or whatever on the inside. We got Bugs' big butt back, which we know Uncle Terry Foster says that we can't have a defense, a very good defense without a big booty and a white linebacker. We got all that stuff in the hand. What the biggest difference, Neal, is yes, you might have some of the same names, but these names are healthy. And it's a lot like when I talk about the Red Wings and what Steve Yzerman reassessing what he had, right, is better than what he can go out and get. Brad Holmes did the same thing. And that's why you got guys on one-year deals and guys that they're believing. Charles Harris is still out there, right? The defense looking to bounce back. There's guys that
in a contract
that have been in the system, right, that are learning the same system for a couple of years now, and now they're healthy. So I think the fact that what Kaminsky's saying, because I look at the impact. Dude, he was one of my unsung heroes last year when Kaminsky was in there playing, even with one club, because he disrupted and made things happen. I'm looking for the same thing with a healthy Pascal and a Lee McNeil that's lost some weight. I think that the big thing that we're biggest concern, right, stopping the run, stopping these quarterbacks that can run. And when you're talking like this on your second unit can be as good as your first, that means that the consistency of being there. And it's also, too, is like much like we talk about the offensive line being being our number one asset, it's offensive line by committee too, right? It's not just 5 guys. There's like 7 guys, the guys that they can sub in when there's injuries. Well, that's the same thing I think that the defensive line is coming into and trying to establish, right? So the difference is, Neal, health. Biggest difference. Health and guys are ready to play. So I'm excited with the guys that we have because I think, like Kaminsky said, I believe that they can do the job no matter if it's first or second unit. Do it together.
Levi Onwuzurike, too, supposedly is supposed to be back.
And there's a wild card.
Yes.
Right? Because you didn't get anything out of him. So I mean, that's a bonus, right? That's another bonus. So there's a lot of questions and a lot of things that we need to see, right? All, you know, obviously with the linebacker core, how are they going to work out? Secondary stuff like that. But it's exciting because I believe that we have the talent, right? That we didn't have in the past. We have the talent, the coaching and stuff like this to be good, and not just good, but like top 15 and top half of the league good.
Woodward Sport.
That's look at the progress.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Tony says, easy tweeted the Lions defense has looked bad today. The heavyweights are out there, by the way. Broderick Martin and Isaiah Buggs aren't the only heavyweights out there at Lions camp today. You know, and I'm just saying, too, if you want to talk defensive line, Spencer Raxter. He spent the season at nose tackle, as did Sam Flannel.
Which should be interesting, and obviously check the heavyweights out 5 to 7. They'll have a full report on it. And you know what? That's part of if the defensive line doesn't look good. They're not supposed to look good in practice. That means the offense is doing well against them, but you got to work on that. You know, there's things to work on. I want to hear about it now that they stink in camp than they do when the game starts. So
yeah,
it's all part of the process. And a lot has to do with the systems too, right?
Right.
About knowing the system and being around. So even these guys are hurt, they understand it. So as long as they stay healthy, I like the guys that they have, and I think they can get it done.
And for me, DMac, like, look, you know, because I talked about this a lot. That is probably my biggest area of concern. Brad Holmes went out in free agency and fixed a brutal deficiency that this defense had in the secondary. Went and fixed it with the stroke of a couple pens. The defensive line, while I agree with your assessment, and I agree with where they are right here at the beginning of August in training camp, I do reserve the right to change that opinion because, and I was going to do this. I was going to do this topic later on this week, or what is your biggest area of concern? And I'll just kind of, I want to get into that a little bit. I want to talk about the defensive line, and we'll do that later on in the week. What's your biggest area of concern?
It makes so much sense, Neal, because you haven't seen that improvement.
Right.
And the difference is yes, the secondary was the glaring weakness also, but you've dropped a whole bunch of money, brought in some top names and stuff like that. The question marks you have on the defensive line is because of that, having the same people back. Even though they're healthy, right, which is different, you still have questions about it, and I think that's fair.
People keeping up on social media, too, with what's good. What a time to be alive, man. Pistons fan 11, Giants beat reporter tweeting the Lions are dominating to start. Andrew Klingerman, Daniel Jones, 1 of 4, sacked once. Barkley, 3 short runs. The Lions defense is eating. We don't need this added to the fire right now. We don't need this. We don't need gasoline poured on this. It's week 1 of training camp.
Do it. Why not? We're going with the Lindsey verse. Yeah, get them all. Shut them down. Suck it, Giants
Oh,
fans.
my gosh. All right, Swiss Insurance, please, calm us down.
Absolutely. And are you planning or sponsoring a golf outing this year? Ask Swiss Insurance about hole-in-one, putting contests, and $1 million shootout coverage. For a very affordable amount, you could give away a huge prize like $10,000 or a new car. Help build your business with big ideas. Check out Swiss today, SwissINS.com, or call Mark at 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177, Swiss Insurance.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Your childhood may be over, but Playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, and parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit us at OutdoorEquipCo.com. Outdoor Equip Co., your power equipment playground.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, JB Smoove here in the building. Happy to have you all with us. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. They are Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They gave it to me right here. The Chevy Silverado is the play, everybody. $299 a month on a lease, $19.95 down. Seems pretty simple to me. We've had fans of Woodward Sports get that exact same Chevy Silverado from this exact same dealership and said that everything was easy. So, look, guys, it doesn't have to be hard. Some people, some dealerships make it hard, but it doesn't have to be. Remember that. So pull up here at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. And DMac, subscribe too, by the way, to the Big D Energy podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker. How many stars, DMac?
5.
5-star review.
Leave 5 and tell us how much Sam Flannel annoys you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't go back to Nashville.
Yeah, he should. Absolutely. Right. So go ahead and do that. Get it out there. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast as well. And DMac, there's been an explosion in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread.
Explosion of bricks and stokedness. Yes.
Details
brick,
emerging from the
Stoked
Lions-Giants joint workouts in Allen Park. People talking about beat writers reporting the Lions are kind of having their way with the Giants. And Jack Harrington, the fire is getting bigger and bigger. Jack Stark says he's bricked. And people are just they're running right now in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread.
Why not?
And Lorena Rios, LOL, folks giving play-by-play for practice. Practice? Yes, practice. DMac.
Don't fight it. Just go with it. Enjoy it.
Robert Colosia.
We died to be here for so long, and then you want to fight it? No, go with it. Go with the flow. It's the way it's going to be all year.
Robert Colosia from the New York media. After a solid first series against the Lions offense, the first team defense hasn't been as successful. The Lions complete a good amount of crosses, plus a lot of passes to tight ends.
Oh, Sam.
Which you said last break, that's going to be your play.
I'm getting my Laporta. I was just saying that, and I was thinking I'm going to the game on Friday, but I'm getting the Laporta jersey.
So that's
my guy.
That's the one you're rolling with.
I'm rolling with Sam.
Let's go.
I am bricked and stoked. Not you, Sam. That's Sam. It was good, Sam. Oh my God, we're gonna have to change your name. You can't have the same name as the leading touchdown reception getter for the Detroit Lions.
We'll have to start calling him Samuel.
Oh,
Samuel Flannel.
That's my full
Flannel.
name. It's on my birth certificate.
Samuel?
I like it.
Yes.
So it is written.
There
That's
it
how
is.
quickly it moves.
And
Samuel
that,
Flannel.
You heard crosses. You heard tight ends. You heard that when I hear crosses, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, in all reality, it is the first day of camp. But who cares? They've been working hard to get to this point, and I'm all for everybody that gets excited.
Let's go Red Wings Sparty. The meat rocket isn't going to last until Friday if we keep talking about it like this.
You know what? Then that's why don't they make those blue pills for something? I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Doc Chill in all caps. I want more hype because we've never had
That's
this
what I'm
before.
saying. Enjoy. Lap it up, lick it up. It might be a dream, but who cares? Let's stay in it. Stay in it. Stoked and bricked. I love it. Stoked and bricked. First day, camp, Giants.
Robert Kolosiev, more from the New York media. When the Lions run outside the tackles, they have a lot of success. Running up the gut, however, has not worked. Who's out there on the outside? Like when you run on the outside, Flannel?
It'd be Penny Sewell.
Oh.
Is
Weird.
he good?
He's good.
Oh, okay. Just wondering.
Now I'm starting to tingle a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be consistent with you guys.
Yes. Dude,
Burn.
it's contagious. Let's take it in.
Burn says we are at a fever pitch over practice. Wait for the preseason.
Absolutely, all of it.
Dude, DMac, okay, so here's the deal. Yesterday on the show I talked about it. So I signed up to run the Free Press Half Marathon in October. So I'm going to do it. So I've begun I'm constantly like training and running, but half marathon specific training I started last week. Here's something I'm struggling with. Coming out of the blocks in that first mile, I've been too aggressive.
Setting your pace?
Yes. And I got to do a better job of kind of reeling it in. Is that what we're doing right now, DMac? Have we shot out into like a 6-minute mile, the first mile of the marathon?
Answer me. What does it hurt at this point?
Are we going to have the stamina left to finish the race?
No, to not be this excited.
Are we going to have to walk a little bit in October?
Hurt, Neil? What does it hurt? Tell me what would it hurt to be uber excited first day of camp and whatever else? Obviously, reality and as the season gets on and you can't be bricked up and, meat riding the whole time and stuff like this. But the fact is that it's something to get excited about for when it is to get excited. You got to work on your pace. They don't. They have to work on capturing all of whatever they've worked against. Now it's the first time they get to do it against an opponent other than themselves. So there is some sort of pride going into this and being at home and stuff like this. So let's enjoy this for what it is. First day of camp.
DMac, look at this. Hoof Hard, it says Friday is going to be the longest day ever. Like, are we the pit bull on the chain like that?
Yeah, but why not? We never have been. We're never allowed to be.
It's
so
the
why
first
can't we act like
preseason game?
So but I'm saying is that, like, if you can hold the stamina and if you can set that, to your point, if you can set that pace and continue it, God bless it. But what do you realize when you can't continue that pace, right? So the fact is, I think that Dan Campbell will realize that the pace that they're on today, you got to let them out of the gates.
No,
the
DMac, and I get it. We're having fun with the discussion right now. This is eye-opening to me, this last 5 minutes for real. Did you think it was going to, like, we knew, right? Like, we knew. You look at the clips we put out social media, like when we talked about the Chiefs game, and I mean, hundreds of thousands of views across all. Like, I know the people are ready. All the season tickets are gone. I know the people are ready. DMac, you got people on this WoodwardSports.com chat thread right now talking about how Friday's going to be the longest day ever.
Dirty Dr. D said, I've never been more excited to drive 2.5 hours to a preseason game in my life.
You see what I'm like, DMac?
Yes,
like we knew, but we didn't know it was going to be this, man.
But we're embracing it. No, we didn't. But,
okay.
But what they're proving in Allen Park is they're embracing us to be this way. Right? They're giving us something to be excited about and to get ready and to cheer and all this stuff. So why don't we when they give us stuff to cheer about? Is this not good stuff to cheer about?
No, absolutely.
So let's do it. Let's not
D-Mac, I'm
not
surprised,
Kansas City.
though.
We don't have championships. We don't have that. We're getting towards that point. Everybody wants to we're in training camp as fans too. So let's Let's work on our excitement levels and how to get up and how to get back down and how to be balanced.
I'm getting goosebumps right now from the people's energy on this,
stoked,
man.
Baby. I know. Because they can't hide it. It's real, and here's the real thing.
It's overtaking them.
But here's the real thing, because have we felt it like this going into a season with everything before in our lifetime?
Never.
But it's a lifetime for us Lions fans to experience this. That's why it's okay now. Man, we've been in the desert for so long, we found the oasis in water, and I don't care that if it's real or it's not real. It's wet. I'm drinking it, all right?
Jack Harrington. This is another example. Jack Harrington, New York guy, right? Just kind of stumbles onto the show and watches the show. I'm not a Lions fan, but even I enjoy the hype.
Thanks, Jack.
Think about that.
But that's it. And you know what? Because it's new. And people have been waiting for 50 years for it, not just here, but everything else. And the fact is that it's not the same old Lions and the laughing out Lions. I think that people have to show that respect. And whether it's the fan bases from other fans or whatever, they appreciate what Dan Campbell and how he's putting it together, because it's the genuineness, right? You know, like you look at his, paraphrasing, you look at his press conference the other day when he's talking about the fans and the media are the wind beneath his wings. Right? You know, like who does that tact? But I believe him. You know, when he says it, I believe him. Because he goes out and shows me.
Danny G, I'm so bricked.
I know, he's
All
tingling.
Caps.
He's tingling, he's so bricked.
Mike G, time to soak up the Lions Kool-Aid and winning the North, just like Michigan making the national championship run. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Let's talk about that.
We are going to get into that. Hanson's fam, I might get fired on Friday because I'm calling in. Let's go.
Calling in for the first exhibition game. We're jeopardizing his
employment status.
That is stoked, bricked. I don't know if it's smart, but it's awesome. Love you, man. Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh, man. I knew there was excitement. Sam Flanagan, what's your take on, like, this is getting out of control, and it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it, but this build up to the first exhibition game, that's kind of where I kind of have to first.
All right, shut up. Nobody
asked you. Kansas City fan, bro.
No, who asked you anyway?
It. And like, you know what? Like, back in your hole.
I mean, no one asked you anyway, Flannel.
Gosh darn it. Way to go.
No, it is aggressive. I will say it's way more aggressive than I thought.
It's enormously aggressive, but it's awesome. Own it. We don't have to sit here and we have to act this way. No, enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is.
DNC ENT, I cannot read that message. We're out in a public place right now. About the steps he has to take to make it to Friday. I will not. You can imagine what he's talking about there. Alex Haggerty, I've been hyped since Dan Campbell stepped up to the podium for the first time. When he was 1-6, I wasn't feeling it then. Machiavelli Sock says Lions will be America's team. This is incredible. It's Tuesday. Just initial reports of the Lions-Giants co-practice have put people over the edge. What'll happen Friday if they get the ball first and Goff goes over the top to Jamison Williams and he catches like a 60-yard touchdown pass on the first play?
80% of the people will be ecstatic, and 20% will be pissed that J-Mo's not playing the first 6 games when it matters. No, it's confidence in what you're looking or what you're hearing out of that is all of it. To me, is team. It's everything that Dan Campbell's Prince. You brought up to the fact that somebody said he stepped on the podium and you said, well, 1-6, I wasn't stoked. But to his credit, he still preached the same way of stick-to-itiveness, right? Stick to it. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through it. This is all part of it. Somebody brought it up. The team finished 8-2 at the end of the season. This is just a continuation of that, right? So that's the way they're approaching it. And obviously, I know it's practice and all that stuff, but stats are stats, Neal. I mean, look at Samuel Flannel. I mean, he leans on the stats hard.
Yes.
Anyway, so let's lean on him, even though it's a practice game against the Giants. But who cares?
DNC ENT, Neal, stop it. I can't take anymore. Like, I know. Hit Rack says they'll have to rebuild Ford Field if that could you imagine? It'll be like that. It'll be like Patricia's first game when they picked off. Was it Baker Mayfield?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. When they picked off Sam Darnold and took it back to the house and they're up 7-0. Just hope they don't lose 41-7 or whatever. Hopefully that'll be the case. Hey, Neal Ruhl here for Planet Fitness. Cool corporate taglines. It goes back to this, guys. I've been a member there for 3 years. I can't imagine my life not being at Planet Fitness. It's got everything I need. It's got the best price in the game. They should probably charge more. I'm just being honest with you. They probably should. I would if I owned Planet Fitness, but whatever. $1 down, $10 a month, access to your home club. You want a black card? $24.99 a month. That's it. That's all. You go to over 2,400 Planet Fitnesses across the world. We come out here to Novi. We're at Feldman Chevrolet. Right around the corner, there's a Planet Fitness. Right around the corner from our Woodward Sports Studios, there's a Planet Fitness. 2 miles from my house, there's a Planet Fitness. Because there's over 50 of them in the metro Detroit area. Guys, it's everything you need. Tons of cardio equipment, tons of weight, tons of all the equipment. You're never sitting around waiting for stuff. You're not paying $90 a month because they have a rock wall. Planet Fitness is all you need. Go to planetfitness.com. Join today. Pull in the parking lot on your way home. Either way, get going on your fitness goals, and Planet Fitness will help you along the way. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
For the Academy of Warren, and a big shout out to JB Smoove for reminding me that it's Academy of Warren spot coming up. I understand on Ermanni and Edwards he's not allowed to make eye contact with them, but hey, Academy of Warren, it's that time, everybody. Back to school time. They have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house with the regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. Also, kindergarten through 8th grade. AM/PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and as we talked about, K through 8 athletics. Don't forget, Ermanni and Edwards will be broadcasting from their carnival on August 24th. Come meet the staff and explore your child's new school. The Academy of Warren now accepting new enrollment. Go to academyofwarren.net. We're back at it here. Big D Energy live from Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, JB Smoove in the house. Forgot to mention Alex. Alex out here as well. He's got his Big House t-shirt on with the Jumpman logo. We're going to discuss Michigan football, Alex. Don't you worry. #2 team in the nation in the preseason coaches poll.
Now, is the coaches poll the one that you take stock in?
No.
Okay.
How can coaches do a poll? They're busy coaching their teams.
I just asked a question.
Never understood that.
So it doesn't mean... Do you take stock in the coaches poll, Sam?
It's one of those things where...
If it fits your narrative, you do, and if it doesn't, you don't.
I was about to say that more or less.
Which one do you put stock in?
Neither.
Okay. It's all narrative driven.
Yeah, well, you got coaches that are voting on it. Like, when would a football coach have time to sit back and watch... You know, when does a football coach at Clemson sit back and watch USC?
So it would be honestly from this conversation, if each school had a designated voter or a watcher that was specifically to watch, then it would have more credibility. I know you're going to – it's not the fact we're voting for your team or whatever. It's the fact that the credibility to watch. I'm just asking, how do you get the right grasp, other than we understand the SEC is dominant over everything else, but reality of Michigan being number 2, in a coach's poll, does that mean anything?
No.
So that's sort of like, so if they want credibility,
I'll say it does mean one thing.
What?
It means that they can lose to Ohio State and still go to the playoff.
Wow, deja vu all over again, right? Are we in the same position as we were last year?
Yeah, it's really weird. I wonder why that is.
Because there's only 2 teams in the Big Ten?
No, not according to the coach's poll.
Oh, really? There's more than that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
which is laughable.
Do tell.
All right, yeah, let's do that right now. As a matter of fact, we'll change up the gears a little bit. We'll get back in because there is news coming out of the joint practice between the Lions and the Giants. Daniel Jones struggling in the practice, 5 of 12.
Shocking.
Sounds about like Daniel Jones.
Yes, it does.
How many rushing yards?
They haven't said.
None. Kept him in the pocket. Yes.
Right, absolutely. But yeah, let's get into the college football discussion. And I have to do this every year. I'm the only guy that does it. I get pushback from everybody. And then when the season's over, they're like, wow, you were right. So we'll do it again, right, Flannel?
Right,
let's just run it again.
Let's run it again.
Yeah. So, yeah, the coaches poll is out for this college football season. Georgia, number 1 in the nation. That's a bit aggressive, I think. When you walk into a situation with a new quarterback, and when you've had a quarterback there for 10 years that was getting a pension now from Georgia, I think those are questions that can be asked. Michigan at number 2, that's it's fair. Like, that's fair. They're as good as anybody else, for the most part.
So is the backing of the number 2 pick because of the guys that they have coming back?
Yes.
It's due to
Justified.
And you agree.
They have questions to answer at the quarterback spot. I don't get down at the altar and pray at the altar of J.J. McCarthy like all of you guys do. But Flannel, what's the data we have? 1 good big game, 1 awful big game. That's fair.
No, I'm not going to say awful. I am not going to say awful. He threw 2 pick sixes, obviously, but he also led them to 45 points.
So?
What do you mean so?
They lost the game because of those 2 pick sixes. Is that fair?
Okay, but the defense also gave up a couple of big plays. I get it. He put him in a hole, but I'm not going to say awful.
Okay. Then we'll agree to disagree there.
Okay, fine.
Whatever. Fine. I think when you hand the other team 14 points, you're bad.
Sure, it wasn't his best game.
Okay. It most certainly wasn't his best game. There are questions to answer at the quarterback spot in a big game.
I don't know about questions because, so Michigan is the only top team bringing back their quarterback. Ohio State's not. Georgia isn't. Alabama is not either. TCU lost Max Duggan. So I think out of all the top teams, Michigan actually has the least amount of questions at quarterback.
And that I will put them more towards. I will get with you on that.
Okay.
I will get. When you look at Alabama and you look at Georgia, you look at Ohio State. Michigan doesn't have those same questions. That's fair.
Right. Yeah.
That's very fair. Mason Leach says, "What's laughable is Neal's thoughts on Michigan football." Tell me where I'm wrong, Mason. Again, tell me where I'm wrong. And I don't have a problem with them being number 2. They're very good. They're very Big Ten good. 3rd is Alabama. I think that's more of a legacy thing. DMac. 4th is Ohio State. I think that's aggressive for Ohio State. Quarterback spot. Again. Number 5, LSU. SEC's gettable.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly's good.
Yeah.
They're a
threat.
They're my team right now. If Michigan can't get over the hump, and if it's not a Georgia, Alabama, the LSU to me this year is with Brian Kelly being there now for the time that he's been there. I think that this is, and don't they just pop up every 5 years or something like that? Isn't that their MO?
That's the way LSU's always ran before, but Brian Kelly's a good football coach.
That's what I'm saying. And he's been there long enough now to establish his family or whatever he wants to call it. But I think they're dangerous. I think LSU's is a team to be reckoned with this year. So that's out there as well. Southern Cal at number 6, they have the least amount of quarterback questions, but it's still Lincoln Riley. They're still going to lose a big game along the way. You still don't want Utah problems and things like that that are out there. Here's where it gets laughable to me.
Penn State at 7. That's laughable. Laughable. Tell me any game James Franklin's won. Any game.
Okay, but Penn State, they got a lot of talent though. I don't want to just
Where have I heard that before?
Okay, but they're not putting them at number 1. They're not saying they're putting them in the top 4. They're putting them at number 7. They've got one of the best backfields in the country. They have a dominant linebacker in Abdul Carter. They have a dominant corner in Kalen King.
I know. I always hear about this.
Okay, but
always.
That's why, and I think Drew Aller, their incoming quarterback, is better than Sean Clifford ever was. I think they're going to be fine. They have a great offensive tackle as well.
But they still got James Franklin.
Yeah. Okay, but we're talking about number 7. Nobody put him at number 1 or anything like that. It's number 7.
Are they a top 10 team in the country?
Yes. This year they will be a top 10 team in the country. They've been that under James Franklin before when they had Saquon.
With what wins? What big wins? See, they're going – look, all this tells me is that Michigan and Ohio State can still get to the playoff.
Sure.
Because their conference is laughable. Big Ten football is laughable.
Okay, but don't include Penn State in that, though. They're the clear –
Why? Who do they beat?
They consistently win like 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, who do they beat?
They don't usually beat anybody big, but they're better
exactly.
than like the Nebraskas and the Wisconsins and stuff like that. They're going to be good. They're going to be top 10. They're not.
That's where it gets laughable to me. We're getting into this whole TV genre already. You know what I'm saying? And you guys, I've been through this before with you. I can tell you who's going to be ranked the week before based on what network they're playing on and stuff like that. Are you prepared to admit that plays into all this? Have I given you enough data?
I mean, it plays into it, but I think Penn State, this is a good team. They said number 7. I think that's about right. That's all.
No way. No way. And we'll see.
All right, fine.
It'll all shake out. I didn't check their schedule though. I'm guessing that do they play Ohio State and Michigan?
That I'm not sure about.
They play them both? Okay, Alex is confirming that yes, they do. But they got West Virginia, Delaware, Illinois, Iowa, Northwestern, UMass. Then they have Ohio State, then Indiana, Maryland, then Michigan, then Rutgers, then Michigan State. So it'll be the same as it always is. They're a little bit better than everybody else, but they're not as good as Michigan and Ohio State. And that's mid.
They'll either be a 1 or 2 loss team, which I think is good for number 7. Nobody's crowning them to be national champions.
To 10?
Wrapping that up real quick before we cut to the break. Florida State at 8.
Don't sleep on them.
Ooh.
I think
it's
they're
sort of due for a Florida resurgence, either State or Florida or whatever. Like, we haven't heard from them in a while.
Clemson at number 9. It's over there.
You think it's over?
It's over.
They're done already?
Who's the quarterback?
Top 10. What was that guy from last year? Cade something. Klubnik, yes. Better than DJ Uiagalelei. I think Clemson's a DJ Uiagalelei problem. I think that was what was wrong with him the last couple of years.
And then rounding up the top 10 before we cut to the break, Tennessee at number 10. Who's their quarterback?
Joe Milton.
Really? I've heard he's a dark horse Heisman candidate. What changed? I was told he sucked.
He did at Michigan. Michigan's doing just fine.
Tells you about Josh Heupel too, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's Heupel's set up to be the next Lincoln Riley, where they win a ton of games. It's flashy. They score a lot of points. But when it comes down to it, and people will say, well, Hendon Hooker got hurt. I understand that. But still, I'll be surprised if they win anything of substance. They're going to beat LSU. They're going to beat Georgia.
Could catch them home and home, maybe. Maybe.
If everything falls right.
Maybe not this year, though. They lost too much.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that was kind of I just wanted it out there because I have a spin-off question of that we're going to ask when we come back on the other side. And we'll wrap it up with more Lions talk as details continue to emerge from the co-workouts with the Giants. People saying that the Lions are really, really handling the Giants as far as a workout goes. You want to do the Mark White now, JB Smoove, or are we doing it after the break? You want to do it after the break? All right, we'll be back with more Big D Energy. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit Detroit sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports, driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Neal Ruhl here for Mark White and Associates. When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how'd you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or give them a call, 248-290-8242, markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success. Back at it here, coming on the stretch. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, Alex, our Michigan football insider here as well. He's got a Big House shirt on. That's enough for me to make him the Michigan insider.
Okay, there you go. All it takes.
I do have a question for the people, DMac, and I'm curious to get your thoughts because I know where you stand on this. You've said it many, many times because you face these moments in your life, and I can tell you your answer is going to be the only way is through. But, however, that being said, I'm just curious, like, when I saw the news come out of the preseason rankings, and Michigan was ranked number 2, I saw a lot of the follow-up pieces. The Athletic wrote one about how Michigan has taken over the Ohio State rivalry. And I had a critical question for the people. Like, when you've been dominated for 2 decades, does 2 wins do that?
Yeah, I think in today's day and age, right, where there's so much change and everything else, and you've won back-to-back, the 2 years back-to-back, so you've done it in your building, you've done it in their building, yes. In college football, yes. In anything else, you have to look at what you've done. So 3 in a row would be more. I think if Ohio State gets it back, then it squashes that. But right now, you can say that you have the upper hand and the dominance, especially with the stats, especially in the last couple of years, especially going in. So yeah, I think that if you're talking about the past and history, yeah, it's gone up to this, but what have you done for me lately? And the truth is that they've not only won, like, there's one thing to beat a rival at home, but there's another thing to go into your rival's building and to beat them. When you do that, and when that's the freshest thing on your mind, then it counts.
Okay, and Flannel, this is where I'll come to you on this. And I'm being serious, like, I'm not busting your balls here. Because I am curious, because as an independent observer of it, I am not of the opinion that 2 wins makes up for 2 decades of being dominated. But Flannel, I'll ask you point blank right here, right now, is Ohio State no longer on your radar then as a Michigan fan?
I mean, they're always going to be on Michigan's radar, especially since Ohio State, they're still a good program. They're still a team with high expectations. I look at it as, on paper, they'd have to have like a run against John Cooper for it to be completely reversed, to say that Michigan completely changed the rivalry. But I look at the past couple of years, in particular last year, when Michigan went to Columbus and destroyed them by 22. You look at the last couple of years, some of who I think will be the most iconic players in Michigan history, like Aiden Hutchinson, like Donovan Edwards, like J.J. McCarthy, like Hassan Haskins, had their best games of their life against Ohio State. I'm looking at those Ohio State teams. They kind of remind me a little bit, not in terms of style, but of the 95 and 96 teams, the teams with Terry Glenn and Sean Springs and Orlando Pace and David Boston and Eddie George, that could beat every single other team, but Ohio State just had their number and was like their kryptonite. Because you look at the Rose Bowl in 2001, after the 2021 season, they go out and they win and they put up 48. Last year, they give Georgia probably the best game they've had in a couple of years, and were a shanked field goal away from winning. But against Ohio State, against Michigan, they got curb stomped.
Which would have been the worst moment of your life, of Alex's life, if that field goal were good.
Sure.
And they cooked TCU by 35. That would have been the worst day of your life, right?
It would have been. But the reality is that even despite all of that, Michigan went into Columbus and took their manhood. They completely destroyed them, dominated them
100%.
physically.
And fell behind and flipped the script and all that. I don't disagree with you. And Steven Syrett here says it. I agree with Neal, and I'm a Michigan fan. The sample size is still too small. DMac, I just don't. When it's a rivalry like this rivalry,
it's not, because it goes back every year, and it's the same thing as what they have in the SEC with Georgia and Alabama every year. You got to go through them to get out of it. Now you own the bragging rights for 2 years because of what you've built, and it's the closest thing as far as roster-wise to guys that have done it. The guys on the Michigan roster that have 2 wins against Ohio State don't know what it's like to lose to Ohio State. So
that is true.
So all this stuff before doesn't mean anything in the whole scheme of things unless you're keeping, records over a long time. Coaches are different. Everything else is different like that. This is, no matter what it is, until other teams step up and are legitimately, like we're talking about Penn State being 7, but you don't respect them. Anybody else in the Big Ten. It's Michigan, Ohio State, like it's Georgia and Alabama, who face off, in the SEC all the time. That's your game, and that's your measuring stick every year. So I go by the sample size because who's in the locker room? This isn't professional sports where guys have been there 10 and 15 years, right? Where that matters, where guys have gone back and done that. Guys that haven't been there, that haven't lost to Ohio State or have winning records at the worst against Ohio State.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Doc Chill says the only thing Michigan fans care about is beating Ohio State when they should be focused on beating a real team like Georgia. And Doc, I've addressed that in the past. Like, I've made my thoughts known about that. I think there is something to that per se. It's not like they just say, "Oh, we beat Ohio State. Okay, that's it." I won't go that far with it, but I think institutionally, and this has nothing to do with Harbaugh.
There's a satisfaction to it.
Yes.
That when they get by it, that the task at hand isn't done. You have to look at it like it's a check mark in your journey on the way to where you expect to go, and that should be national championship, right? And it's always got to be that check mark on the way. You're always going to have to face that. It's like us having to face Colorado to win Stanley Cups.
Yeah, but that's not the case, DMac. Because you can lose and still get in the tournament.
Well, then, see, that's okay, but that's a different conversation.
Also on the Woodward, this is a good one by Rich Diana. This is very timely, and I want to go back to Sam Flannel for this one. Rich Diana says Ryan Day is on ice and it's melting rapidly. He's what, in year 4?
He's been there since 2019, so yeah.
So year 4.
Year 5.
Oh, year 5 it is. Okay. Yeah. So why, in Michigan fans, where you yourselves had to give Harbaugh the better part of a decade to get it together, like, why is Ryan Day just written off like this as he is by Michigan football fans?
I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily written off. I don't think he's a bad coach.
We read.
I know.
Flannel, if you put it on the chat thread right now, do you think Ryan Day is a bad coach? You know how that would end.
Well, he's not a bad coach. He's just had a couple of missteps against Michigan. But the thing is, it's not just It's the succession. It's the fact that Urban Meyer never had those missteps. It's the fact that Jim Tressel didn't have those missteps. So I think Ohio State fans and even Michigan fans got a little bit spoiled by Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel's constant success.
Sam, does your Michigan fandom allow you to say that you own Ryan Day right now? Is that how your Michigan fandom, you're not intimidated by Ryan Day's coaching, right? Because you think that you have an answer for him.
Oh, yeah. Michigan has proven to be Ohio State's number one kryptonite over the last couple of years. I mean, that's just fact.
That's the dangerous slope.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the same year where Michigan went into Ohio State and curb stomped them by 22, Ohio State were a field goal away from going to the national championship. So there's got to be something with how Michigan just has their number.
Chuck Brewer says, Natty this year bust. Been screaming it since the TCU loss. And Chuck, look, you and I vibe on a lot of things. Michigan football is not one that we vibe on, but we vibe on this. And that's it. That's all. There is no we beat Ohio State. There is no Big Ten champions T-shirt this year, Flannel. There is not. Sure. It is all or nothing. Are you comfortable? Be honest with me. Speak for Michigan fans to some degree, because I don't think Michigan fans are yet comfortable with those stakes. I don't think they are.
Well, we have to be because we've already.
But I don't think you are.
Well, I mean, I am because we've already climbed those mountains. Ohio State.
So you're prepared to say if we do not win the national title, it's a failure.
Yes.
Stoke not scared. See, DMac, I'm trying to get the people on that level, right? Like, embrace the same movement.
But it's a different,
you're not getting the same vibe, though, are you?
Not at all, because everybody's all in on the Lions and what they built, and people still are skeptical of still what's coming out of Michigan. Even though they have a lot of confidence and happy that their number 2 coach is pulled, there's still questions to be answered.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it's a failure. If you don't win a national championship, it's a failure.
Sure, absolutely.
And welcome to the party, because that's how it works. Do you think Alabama cares if they beat Georgia if they win the national title?
I mean, maybe not Georgia, but the Iron Bowl maybe.
Do you think they care if they beat Auburn if they win the national title?
Well, they did. They lost to Auburn and won a national title recently.
Do you think they cared?
In retrospect, no.
That's how this works in the real world.
Sure.
That's it. That's all. All right. More Lion stuff when we get back. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast is called This is the S Word, helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or some you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. The Sports Marketing Agency, they're here to help.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Neal Ruhl here for 5 Iron Golf. Think you can play some golf? How about beating professional athlete? It's the Woodward Sports Thursday Night Golf League live at 5 Iron Golf, presented by Mark White and Associates. It goes on for 12 consecutive weeks, featuring some of the most famous courses from around the world, played on state-of-the-art TrackMan simulators in 5 Iron Golf's new 25,000 square foot facility in downtown Detroit. Can you beat Darren McCarty on hole number 12 at Augusta National? What about taking down Braylon Edwards on hole number 8 at Pebble Beach? Do you have what it takes? Go to 5irongolf.com right now. They're up and running in downtown Detroit. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, just kind of putting to bed this whole Michigan discussion. In the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Adese411 says 2024 schedule will get tougher, especially 2025. You guys know I'm on record. I don't think those Texas games will happen. Chuck Brewer says this, and this, DMac, I think this is because Michigan fans aren't comfortable with fear, right? They're not. They like playing their 9 home games a year. They like being a double-digit favorite in all of them. That's comfortable. He says if Michigan doesn't win the national title this year, we will never win it. Do you get that feeling?
No, I don't get that vibe.
Because Georgia's down, Alabama's down. They ran through their quarterbacks.
I mean, this is as good of a year as any to
get
win it. I agree, but they're always going to be there, right? Michigan will always be there. Whether they can get over the hump is yet to be decided.
Yes,
but they're always going to be there. They're always going to be the preseason top 5. You know, stuff like
and
that.
For a myriad of reasons. Yes, for a myriad of reasons. You know, obviously, they're a fine regional football team. You know, they're a fine regional football team. They get a lot of viewers.
It'd be nice if they were a nice national football team.
Sam Flannel, do you share that sentiment? It's kind of now or never.
I don't know if I share that sentiment, but I think it gives credence to what I say about Alabama and Georgia, that they do just reload, but you don't lose all that they have, particularly with Alabama losing Bryce Young, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Will Anderson, and are just like, snap, it's all back and good again. This is the year to get them. This is the year for Michigan to get everybody.
So yeah, it is interesting though. Some of the Michigan fans are coming around on that line of thinking, DMac, that it's championship, or bust. So we'll see. Rich Diana Harbaugh's finally feeling the pressure to finish the job. So we'll see. But you guys are in the playoff. You're already in the playoff. So so be ready. You can even lose to Ohio State.
Rather not, but we probably could.
You could, and you're still going to be in. And that's why, too, like, when people talk about the schedules getting tougher, you have to remember in the future it gets easier, DMac, to get in because they expand this thing. Theoretically, then, if you're Michigan, if you negotiate your schedule, and for the record, guys, I'm the one that says to do it this way. Because if you dip out of that Texas and those Oklahoma games and you play your schedule, you could lose to Ohio State every year and still get in the playoff because you're Michigan. And you're going to be in. In a 16-team playoff?
Sure.
You are.
Sure.
But yeah, DMac, just to kind of recap, the people, man, we talked about how stunned we were. And people flipped at noon. It was like when the hour changed, DMac. Something came over the people here in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Talk about the level of excitement for Friday. For Friday's game. They got me going now. Like we've discussed this before.
Well,
preseason football, I watch a quarter, I tap out, I go about my night. I think I'm all in now.
There's a lot of excitement because we're getting feedback from camp here on how Jahmyr Gibbs is running all over the, first team defense of the Giants, and we're getting a good look. And Daniel Jones isn't looking good. Our defense is looking good, so we want to see it. We've heard about it, so now we want to see it. So it's about. Going to be stoked and bricked and all that stuff. Might as well start now, but it's because of the feedback we're getting out of camp right now for today, with all the information that we got. So, I mean, there's no reason not to be. So, yeah. And the whole scheme of things, is it a little aggressive? Sure it is. But you know what? We've never had this before, so I'm all about enjoying it. I'm more with Lindsay on this one. Enjoy it while it lasts right now.
Taylor Shant says, Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 red zone touchdown catches. And that has been, and again, I am not reporting this. Obviously, we are not there. We're here at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi.
And even better, hoof-hearted in a 15-yard red zone drill, the Giants couldn't score even after 6 downs. Does that give you more confidence? There you go. Start knocking on wood. Knock on any wood you want. It doesn't matter. But then when you're hearing results and you're hearing things like this come out, that's the reality. So they ain't stopping. So you hear it from every guy every day coming out of that. It's all on the same page.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 red zones touchdown catches. And look, I am purely pulling this from our Big D Energy chat. People could be pulling our leg. They could not be. I trust the people that watch this show in general. People do want to know, speaking of trusting the people, you'll like this question, DMac. Flannel. People want to know, are your buttons correct on your flannel because the flannel's not lining up?
Probably not.
Ooh. I think so. I'd have to check that out again, but
wasn't a lot of confidence in that answer.
Yeah, it's definitely off. It's all you. And people notice that.
It's a late night, long weekend.
Just coming back off of vacation. There he goes.
Yeah.
There it is. Exactly. Rick Sandberg says, "I'll be at the game Friday, stoked as hell. I can't believe the last playoff win was when I was in middle school. Join the club, brother." Same thing.
And hey, guys, tune in like everybody else, 5 to 7, because the Woodward heavyweights spending and easier down there. So I'm sure they'll have a full report. And if you want to talk about, you want to be stoked, I'm sure those guys will be pretty excited with some great information to share.
And this is funny too from Dr. Clappencheeks. Breaking news: the Giants have signed Marshawn Lynch to play quarterback after realizing even he could do better than Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones slander machine has fired. That is in regular season form.
Oh yeah.
I did win a fantasy football championship with him though last year.
Well, that's because he ran.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, he did. Cobzilla, this is a hot topic of discussion. Cobzilla says, "Look at the collar, people. It's fine. Let's go Red Wing Sparty," says Johnny Cash never wore his flannels wrong. So there's that out there as well. Everyone's going to be at this. Everyone's going to be at this preseason game, Demon. You're going to be down there.
I will.
We're going to need a full stoked report.
We will. I'll give it to you. Stoked vibe. Ford Field's going to be popping.
You gonna make sure the hair's on point before you go?
You know what? I might have to.
What would that necessitate?
I might have to put it up. What's that?
What would that necessitate?
Sitting in the chair for an hour?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll put it up. Put the peacock up for the. For the
anybody else run through Lady Jane's this weekend? Perhaps. Maybe before the game.
Absolutely. Is it read time?
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I lost track of time. We're walking any Lady Jane's for award-winning haircut experience like I will on Friday. Beth, book me a seat and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but 2 vehicles of your choice. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, girlfriend, or best bud. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walking anytime. The only place to go. It's wicked awesome.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Final segment of the show live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, and of course JB Smoove out here on site. Alex in his big house shirt. He's ready to go. He knows the season doesn't start till November though. And even then it doesn't really start. The season doesn't start till the playoff, my friend. Doesn't start till the playoff, Alex. That's all that matters. We'll have to talk about that maybe tomorrow. We got to get you on for college. We got to have a heart-to-heart about Big Ten football. We'll have you on. Absolutely. We'll get Alex, my guy Alex, on because I can't believe that take. But whatever, we'll discuss it. We'll talk through it like adults or adults, however you say. Steven Syrett says, I had a shirt like Sam Flannel. in 1996.
Nice. You got me. Zing.
Hoofhearted says, can we do a segment tomorrow to clown on Aaron Rodgers after Hard Knocks tonight? We can do an Aaron Rodgers
is there
slander.
a Hard Knocks tonight?
I guess so, there is.
Oh, wow.
We can do an Aaron Rodgers slander segment, right? We've always got room in the show for that.
Absolutely. That's one of our segments.
Sure we can.
So, yeah, tomorrow, Aaron Rodgers slander segment. Whatever you got on Aaron Rodgers.
Can you believe that Aaron Rodgers said this?
Yeah. We'll do it.
Although he's playing chess right now he's playing hardcore chess.
Yes.
You got to appreciate the game. You know, he's playing at a different level right now. It's giving the money back, and we talked about it before, but he's bought himself some time.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Taylor Shantz, the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Supposedly Brian Branch had a sack today. That break you up a little bit, Sam Flannel?
Absolutely.
That's Flannel's guy.
I thought that was Spenny's guy.
No, Brian Branch is Flannel's guy. He claimed him.
Why
He
do you
claimed
do
him.
that to Branch? He's supposed to be good. Flannel, quit freaking doing that to guys.
So real quick.
Tom Kennedy, look what happened to him.
Well, he got an injury settlement, though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I forgot to report that. Some bad news out of Lions training camp. Tom Kennedy was released with an injury settlement. So it sounds like it's pretty bad. So that makes me sad. So
Didn't want to see him hurt.
no, absolutely not.
You do anything not to buy a coffee for the fellas, eh? You're savage. Savage. Anything to save a coffee.
So Flannel's Lions rookie is Brian Branch.
Yeah.
You've made it known you're Sam Laporta. I'm Broderick Martin. So we all have our camps. We'll see who reigns supreme.
I don't know. I think you're the underdog in this one, Neal, because he's a third-round pick, and his impact might not show up on the stat sheet.
Right, but some people say I'm about propaganda. They say I'm about narratives. To me, all they have to do is not allow 300 yards rushing and a half, and he made his impact.
Better than last year, right?
If they make every team punt in a game.
Can't believe that happened.
That absolutely happened. We saw it. Anything for the good of the people, DMac?
Anything for the good of the people. Stay stoked. Stay bricked. Enjoy it. I mean, this is a great time. Look at all the hardship and everything, the ups and downs. And not saying that there's not going to be stormy waters and everything else to come, but enjoy where we're at right now and appreciate, the guys that have got us here. And I have no problem. I'm going to tune into heavyweights today because I want to hear how excited they were being down at camp.
Yes.
There'll be enough time to get all upset because somebody got injured or get upset because we lost the game we shouldn't have. That there's time for that. Let's enjoy what's in front of us. Take it for what it is. Stoked, bricked, let's go.
Absolutely. Big props to JB Smoove, Sam Flannel, and Alex for handling everything out here on site. And as always, big props to the people at Feldman Chevrolet. Go see our guy Ryan. Stop in, say hi to George. Those are our people. Make sure you get the Chevy Silverado right now. That is the move. $299 a month on a lease with $19.95 down. Come down here and get all the details. So for Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, JB Smoove, and Alex in his big house shirt, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.